Hey everyone, welcome back to another installation of this F-4J build for Monogram 148 scale. So it's been a while, I know, since I've made any updates on this kit, but I really been too busy at work and just not really feeling it. And I think let's see, I was also on vacation, and then after that I was in an accident, so car was totaled. And in the process, as a matter of fact, this I had this kid in the car, so pieces went everywhere. Ended up losing one of the rear stabilators, a couple bombs and rockets, and also that uh, camera that comes with the Phantom. You know, the little small camera that you put underneath the stores. I was doing a small sub build on that. I did a video on it, but of course never got around to finishing it. And anyway, so that's gone. So now I probably have to use some stabilators from a Academy kit. See how that goes. But anyways, I'm back. So let's get on with it. Oh, excuse me. So as you can see, I finally finished the cockpit. For the most part, I still gotta do some bits and pieces here and there. Um, but I was finally able to join the fuselage halves together and also kind of work the seam lines, which, by the way, for this Monogram kit, it joined, these two halves joined in almost perfectly. I mean, nice. I mean, you can see this is just from sanding, you know, the glue and whatnot, so hardly any seams there. Just, you know, pieces here and there where some putty needs to be added. There we go. And if I can get a pointer here, that's pretty nasty gap there. That's from probably from the taking it off from the sprues. And then of course this is the big one. That one's really bad. And yeah, the only other thing that I have to worry about is pretty much the panel lines that go across and rescribing these panels here. But being that this is the J model, and I think if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty much all the 148 scale F4 models were the same, whether it was a B, C, or D, or in this case a J. So the instruments, of course, is not correct for the J model. So I added some, you know, scratch build items to make it a little bit more accurate. Of course, this one I still haven't put that soundproofing that goes on the side here, being that it has a refueling probe on the right side, I believe. And of course, this one doesn't have the instruments, or the J model didn't have these instruments, so of course that's inaccurate. But I did add the little area where the control stick goes for the Rio, for his radar stuff. And I covered up the hole where the control stick goes for the what would be the weapons operator and other variants. So now I just got to paint it and kind of work it a little bit. One other thing that I did do is added the ejection handles here on the side. It didn't have them. And also added the, let's see. I don't know if you can see it from here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. So added the emergency jettison handles for the canopy, and the manual uh, opening of the canopy handles, both pilot and the Rio. They were molded into the plastic, so I just ended up scratching them off, scraping them off, whatever, and just using some good old aluminum can to do the handles on that. And I think it added a little more accuracy and a little more detail to it, so I'm happy the way it came out. Of course, added the landing gear handle there. I think that's the one. And let me see if I turn it around. Added some more control handles there. Can't remember what they're for. Oh, there we go. You can see that one in red there. I think that's for the wheels, actually, for the landing gear. And then there's another pull handle there. I forget what those are for, but they're there. Whether it's accurate for the J model, I'm not sure. I was looking at so many reference photos that I kind of forgot which model I was looking at, but it adds extra detail on there, so it's all right. Oh yeah, and also added another auxiliary ejector seat handle there between the legs, and reworked the panel for the caution lights. I actually added some, oops, sorry guys, sorry. Added a bit of body to it, and cut the actual caution lights, removed them from the instrument panel and did it separate, and put a little label there with whatever is inscribed on there. I can't remember on the actual aircraft what it says there, but yeah, some detail there. And of course, another thing that I did do was add some of all these wiring and harnesses, for the instruments that go there, and all over the place. Just to give it more detail. And of course, this is one of the part of the actuator for the canopy, for the front part, for the pilot. So I still got to add the other part, that goes attached to the actual canopy, and I got to add the one for the back too, for the Rio. But so far, that's what I've done to that. And I also added a little bit more, where is it? Some detail there that I saw on reference photos. So more detail there. Now I just gotta glue the center canopy section so I can add more detail that I can't add now because it's attached to the canopy frame there. So have to do that, and probably add a couple more instruments there, like maybe I think magnetic compass needs to be added there. Can't remember. I have to look at the reference photos again. But yeah, so that's pretty much for the cockpit. I'm really happy the way it's coming out. Looks busy. I'm thinking or debating whether I want to add that cover there. I'm not sure. I'll probably just leave it like that though, even though it's going to be inaccurate. Right now that this is joined, I gotta, of course, add detail here, like for the heads display, that glass, that sends all the info to the little, that reflects onto the glass for the pilot, and some other details there. I have to look at reference photos. And of course, I gotta work on the seams. And right now, of course, I gotta fill it, putty all these areas, trouble areas. But the main thing that I'm concerned about right now, and not sure how I want to approach it, is to do the panel lines here. Now, doing this with stretch sprue is not a problem. I did it with the 1/48 scale Monogram Cobra, or the Monogram's 1/48 scale AH1 Cobra. But the thing is, the rivets though, because even if I use like a rivet maker, it's not gonna fit for the ones that are raised, and then you got here indented ones. So I don't know how I want to approach that, and I really don't want to rescribe the whole aircraft or most of these panel lines. So I'll have to see how I go about that. Down here, I gotta cover that one up and actually take this off, because this would be the in-flight refueling for other F4 models, but I think this is not for the J, because again, the refueling probe would be up here somewhere on the right side. I can't remember exactly where, but I'll look at the reference photos and probably have to add the panel lines for that. But yeah, now that I looking at my phone camera here, the screen, the rivet detail is not so bad, so I might just go ahead and use stretch sprue to replicate those panel lines there, or try to anyways. I mean, for the Cobra it worked out, but here I don't know. Like I said, I haven't done that many times, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if this auxiliary fan actually goes on the J model. Another thing I have to look at. I do gotta open up these vents though, but I was waiting to join the fuselage shafts together first. I was gonna leave these on there, but because of the panel lines here, the joint lines, I need to fill those in and sand them, so I'm just gonna cut these off and use hypodermic needles for the pedostatic probes. Yeah, this is what I'll do. And air data probes, I think, whatever combination of probes they are. Sorry, but I'm not too familiar with this aircraft, so, but I'm pretty sure one of those is at least a pedostatic probe. Anyways, moving along. Another area that I have to work in is this here. Put some putty in there, and I have to check if the radar antennas go here too on this particular model. And I broke off the fuel jettison here, so I gotta make a new one. Dang it. Oh well. And let's see here. You can see I sanded that off, but I gotta rework it a little bit. And here I'll maybe add the rivet detail that it had with the rivet maker, even if it's indented and not raised like these, but we'll see. But it doesn't look too bad just like that. And yeah, other than that, here's another little problem area, and everything else is pretty much just like I said, panel lines and just detail carving here or carving, sanding, whatever I need to do here, and just fill in those gaps. I did add some epoxy here because I had to use a piece of sprue to kind of wedge the whole instrument section here level, because when you join the pieces, this was kind of like slanted to the left. So I straightened it out using that sprue, super glued it in place, and then just put some epoxy on there just to keep it straight in case the glue breaks off or something. So just a little added sturdiness to that. So that's straight, and I think I'm starting to ramble now. So yeah, so that's that. The other thing I gotta work on right now was the intakes. Let me see. Clear that up on the inside because you can't what you may call it, where the molds, leave that mark on there. I can't even think of the name no more. But also want to. Oh, where's that other part? Give me a second. Well, I'll show you soon. Here's my little travel toolbox for my kids when I take it to work. This is what I use. Here we go. So clean that up too. I mean, I still gotta fine tune it and have to paint them before I join them together, since it's white in the inside, and if I glue them now, it's gonna be pretty much next to impossible to paint it evenly. And I also probably gonna open that up, but I'm not sure yet. Although the opening is kind of small, so you really can't even see into the intakes, air intakes. So yeah, that's another decision I gotta make. Because if I cut this open, then of course it's gonna be hollow. And if you do look inside, well, I don't know. Because I really don't want to use a fot cover on it. But we'll see. The fit on this piece also is pretty good. Not too much of a gap. So this is pretty much done. Like I said, gotta fine tune the sanding on there, and then gotta work on this. I can't remember if I showed you or not. Well, I know I didn't show you this part, but I opened up those vents, added some plow plate on there for the vents, for the vent vanes. I gotta fix that up because I just noticed that broke. And I removed the actuators for the speed brakes there, so I'm gonna use pins for that, electronic pins, which pretty closely resembles the actuators. So gonna glue those air brakes in the open position and actually have the actuator extended coming out instead of just being molded in place. Hence why you see those covers there. And of course, just gotta join this to the fuselage and work on those seams. All right, I think I rambled enough, but that's where I'm at right now with this Phantom. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.